This is Work Conversations. I'm with Jennifer Fisher.
We're new best friends.
We are new best friends. She's like the fancier, smarter,
I'm not
better
fancy.
But you are
just like-
cool.
Thank you.
I think you're genuinely cool.
Thank you.
I think very few people are
cool,
genuinely cool. I'm okay, cool. But I am who I am, which I like. This is Work Conversations. We are going to have a wild, meandering conversation about life, work, jewelry, design, costumes, salts, cookbooks, toothpicks, and more.
Now work.
It's so interesting because the thing I think is that people are actually so sad about their children leaving. It's for them. It's not about your children.
It's
so
not about you.
Wrong.
Well, that's my point, and it's so weird. And that's why I try to talk about this all the time because people are like, "Aren't you so sad that they're gone?" I'm like, "No,
I'm so happy for them.
I'm so happy for them because I look at my son. I mean, he's a junior. He's already like well into it, and he's already completely evolved and changed. Of course, he does.
Is he like a football guy?
He's a basketball guy. He's an everything guy.
Okay.
He just loves sports. He wants to get into like sports marketing. He loves it. His whole life has always been sports. He was a basketball player though in high school, so that's why. And my daughter is more artistic and like into fashion, and like she's really just an independent. Like I'm very independent and I'm very like vocal. She's like me times 10.
Okay, that's
so
amazing.
Really, I knew that when she got out of like that high school,
yeah, she would be free to go figure out what it is.
Yeah, because like high school girls are like, it's just high school girls suck, and like it's just like I'm so happy to see her now in this new environment of diversity, being at like a school like Michigan where there's that's why she chose it.
There's so many people.
Yeah, there's so many people. I mean, she got into where I went to college.
Where'd you go to college?
I went to USC.
Okay.
And I went to Marshall School of
California?
Business. Yes.
Okay.
I grew up in Montecito. I grew up in Santa Barbara.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
It is amazing, but I would never want to live there.
Really?
Yeah.
I grew up in New Hampshire, and I say the same thing, which is a legitimate thing to say if you're from New Hampshire. Why?
Well, I was there before like it became like very Hollywood. Like I was there it was beautiful when I grew up there. It was like a tiny sleepy beach town. Like the Miramar was a private, like not expensive beach club that there was a guy that rode around on his bike named Jacques, and he'd be like, "Are you on my bike?" He was this cool French guy. And there was like a hot dog cart by the pool, and it was like there, and we'd go to the Coral Casino for coffee, milkshakes, and it was just like a very different time.
Interesting.
Like it was just a really cool
different vibe.
Yeah, it was cool, and it was different, and I wouldn't want to live there now. I mean, but there's still amazing things that are still there, like Pierre Lafont.
Yeah,
like I worked upstairs at Pierre Lafont.
Oh,
like,
that's fun.
Like in the home section, which is funny now, looking back. But like I loved growing up there. But back to Drew and back to what we were talking about. So college, she got into USC, and she chose to not go there because she really wanted to have a college experience in a college town. And LA is different.
It's not.
And you have to be a kid that wants that.
Yes. That independence, and it's.
Well, just she didn't want to be Ubering to
it's
nightclubs and things like that. She wanted to be able to walk down the street to like a frat house, or a party, or
100%.
like all of that. And so she's there, and she's just to see her now there is so, it's just awesome. And it's also a really great school. Like it's
such a good school.
And for us to be, where'd you go to school?
I went to Colby in Maine, but I know Dave, my partner at Barstool, went to Michigan, so I'm like a big Michigan stan.
Yeah, I knew that about. I knew that he did it.
Yes, big Michigan guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me your story.
Which part?
Like, how would you capture your journey? Like, I think people have such an impression of who you are and
what do you think
do.
that is?
That it's fancy and perfect, I think.
It's the furthest thing from that.
But that's why I like
that's
you.
That's funny.
I know.
It's like I'm such a normal chick, and like I walk my dog, and I take out my garbage in the basement, and I do all of those things, and I don't have people helping me.
How did you get started? Like, how did you?
So I was always really resourceful. So growing up in Santa Barbara, my grandfather, just like a backstory. So my grandfather was like kind of a well-known polo player in Santa Barbara. My dad grew up there, like third generation Montecito, which is like unheard of.
Okay.
But we didn't grow up like, it was like we were like middle class. And my dad owned car dealerships.
Okay.
And I would go in and clean the ash. Like I always was trying to hustle and make money.
Okay.
My dad was
You like to work.
I love to work.
Okay.
Like I love it.
Yep.
So I would like clean the ashtrays at the car dealership to like make money. And I was like, how can I make money today? And like, if I had to go to work with my parents or whatever, I would clean the ashtrays of all the guys. Or when they'd go out of town, my dad was a gambler.
Okay.
And we'd go to Vegas all the time. And I'd be left with different babysitters from like Brooks Institute or whatever college, we'd have a babysitter. And by the time they got back, I normally would have like a random business started. Like I wasn't the kid that wanted to like go play with dolls. I was the kid that wanted to go to the crafts.
I want to make something.
So my first company was JJ Button Ears. stores.
Okay.
And I started that when my parents were out of town. Like by the time I took my babysitter to the craft store, I'm like, we're going to the craft store. And I was gluing on buttons to like earring backs. And we went to Kinko's and we made little cards. And I literally was like hawking them to stores. Like by the time my parents got back, like then I had like a splatter paint business where I was splatter painting like overalls and hats and taking them to stores. Like I literally was always trying to make a buck.
Okay.
My friend Amy and I would like pick avocados off of they had these amazing avocado trees in their backyard, and we would like go and sell them on the side of the road, and made a deal with the guy that owned the Mexican restaurant and would like I was like hustling.
You're like, I'll hawk you whatever.
I will hustle and sell
I'll
you
make it,
my
I'll sell it to you.
Life.
Okay, I love that.
But that work ethic was ingrained from my father.
Yeah.
Like, so I wanted a very expensive prom dress, and my dad was like, okay, go get a job to pay for that.
100%.
I'll drive you to the Beverly Center to go get it, but you need to go get a job.
And you got to find the money
So
for
I
it.
lied about my age, and I got a job at the dress store downtown in Santa Barbara.
Okay.
And I became like one of their best sales girls.
Okay.
And made enough money to go buy that dress. And my dad drove me to the Beverly Center, and I bought that dress. It was a comme de garçon dress. Like I was back in the day, and there was like this one really expensive store, and I went and
You're like, that's what I want.
I figured it out, and I was like, okay, this is fun.
Yeah, I like
I like to
the
work,
chase.
and I like to see what comes from that work.
Yeah. I am wired the exact same way. I love that. I think it's so cool.
We're gonna be friends. Yeah,
We are. So then how did you become Jennifer Fisher?
Okay, so that's a total accident. So I went to Marshall School of Business. I studied business marketing.
Okay.
I thought I wanted to be the publisher of Vogue magazine until I went and got my first internship at a magazine called LA Style, and I'd be on the finance marketing, like there were the marketing side. I can't talk. Welcome to perimenopause. And I would watch the racks of clothing going by on the editorial side, and I was like, I'm on the wrong side.
Yeah,
like I was a kid.
I'm in
Like
the wrong gig.
my dad also, he was an entrepreneur, so
Okay.
he redid Spanish estates in Santa Barbara.
Okay.
And we were moving around a lot to each house once he'd fixed it up, and we lived in a really beautiful one, and we sold it to Jane Seymour.
Okay.
And I had plastered Vogue magazine. My mom was really cool and always supported my love of fashion. I was obsessed with fashion since I was a kid. And my mom got me subscriptions to Vogue magazine.
Okay.
And I would as teens
plastered
do, I had
like Benetton,
I had my whoever on the wall, Rick Springsteen, whoever it was, and I had Vogue magazine. And they asked to keep the Vogue wallpaper when we sold the house. So I have a photo of it too. We should show it.
Will you send it to us?
I will.
Yeah.
My mom has it.
Okay.
And it's like, it's like a teen room that just has a bunch of magazines on the wall, but they asked to keep it. And it was so funny. So I always loved fashion. So after graduating school, I had a friend that worked for a director of propaganda films. And he was like when Michael Bay and Anton Fuqua and all those guys were there directing. And this guy, Willie Patterson, needed a stylist. And I was like, I can do that. I love fashion. And he was like, okay, kid, you fuck this up. You'll never work in this town again, but I'm going to give you a shot.
You're like, great.
I got this. So it was like a Pace Picante salsa commercial. And I had like a prom queen or like a beauty queen. I had a sheriff, and I had a few people, and it was so much fun. I figured it out. I went and found the costume houses in Los Angeles, and I styled that job, and I became a stylist for 10 years, never having a manager or an agent, and just by word of relationships are everything.
Yep.
So I did it all just via relationships.
And of your own propulsion.
Yeah, and it was by the time long story short, I'll tell you how it kind of ended, but I had multiple jobs going at multiple times with multiple girls. But I was doing Amex, Pepsi, Bud Light. We were doing
big names.
Big jobs, Super Bowl commercials, all of this stuff. And I stayed in commercial styling that entire time. So I worked also at NBC worked for Aaron Spelling. I worked on his daytime drama called Sunset Beach.
Yes.
I was I was the assistant costume designer. I worked with this amazing woman, Sandra, and I helped her do all these guys. And on that same lot, they shot Friends.
Huh.
So I started dating Matt LeBlanc.
Oh, no way.
So this is part of the story, though. So random story. So I just started dating Matt.
So fun.
Yeah, kind of a random story, but this is
we're here.
Part of it. It's all part of it.
Life is random.
Life is random. So I started dating Matt, and at the same time, the Mercer Hotel was opening in New York, and I got invited to the soft opening. And so I came, and my best friend Natasha was like, "You've got to go see my brother Ari, and and a bunch of his friends, and at a bar." So I went down. Met Ari I actually came with Tim, the hot lifeguard from the Aaron Spelling show, because we were friends. Everyone thought we were fooling around, and we weren't. We were just friends. He was dating some other girl, and I was dating Matt. And I met Ari, and there was this cute guy named Kevin.
Okay.
There was there too. I was like, he's so cute. But I'm dating Matt LeBlanc, whatever. Okay, bye. So then cut to a year and a half later, and Matt and I break up. And I come back to New York for something else, and Natasha comes with me, and she's like, let's go have drinks with Ari, because at the time they worked at Cantor Fitzgerald at World Trade Center.
Yep.
And so my first drink was with Kevin, who is now my husband, was actually at Windows in the World in the World Trade Center. He worked at Cantor Fitzgerald.
That's so sad. Yeah.
It is very sad because we got married after, I'll tell it, it's terrible. Going to funerals, not going on a honeymoon. Anyways, shortly after we started dating, well, not shortly, I mean, I was right around my 30th birthday, and we were living together. I got diagnosed with something called a desmoid tumor.
Okay.
And it's a soft tissue sarcoma that's on my left chest wall.
Okay.
That I went through chemotherapy for.
Okay.
But I had this amazing commercial director. I worked through the entire thing. His name was Eric Joyner. Thank you. He gave me jobs in New York and LA. So I was having chemo at Cedars-Sinai in LA and chemo at St. Vincent's here in New York.
And like making life work.
Working the entire time. And I really believe that like working through the chemotherapy really helped me.
You. Yeah.
Like, yeah, it really, because it
kept you busy. It kept your fire
my mind
alive.
okay.
Yeah,
like,
totally. You're like, I'm not going to be a victim to this thing.
Correct. So then cut to Kevin proposes. And then we get married right after. And this is like 3 days before 9/11.
Okay.
So that's a horrible story of how I lost my brother-in-law, lost a lot of people, horrible, that were at my wedding. And then when we wanted to have children, my oncologist was like, absolutely not. Your tumor grows from estrogen. You need to get a surrogate. And at the time, it was illegal in the state of New York to have a surrogate carry a child for you. Isn't that interesting?
That's not that long ago.
I know. But like, thanks to Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen, like that's now changed.
Yeah,
because people like that have voices able to help. But it was legal in New Jersey, Florida, California.
Okay.
And so we're like, and Kevin grew up in Brentwood.
Okay.
So we're both from California.
So you're like, we're heading back.
Yeah. So head back to California, go through, and it's really crazy. I mean, first of all, though, you have to, in order to get a surrogate, and I don't know how different it is now, but at the time you have to make an album of yourself as a couple, and you're basically selling yourself because the person has to choose to carry your child.
Yeah.
And we had this amazing surrogate. She lived in Sacramento, and she was a teacher, and first round took, but then miscarried at 12 weeks. And then you got to go through the whole thing again because we're doing fresh egg retrieval. So I'm going through IVF as she's going through IVF.
Everybody's
like
in the
crazy.
process.
Everyone's in it. And it's also going back and forth and like trying to do all of this. It was a lot. And living in New York and working. And then second time, 16 weeks, we knew it was a boy. We named him Luke. And I flew to Sacramento for because at that point in the contract, you take them like shopping for clothes and stuff.
100%.
And we went to the doctor and there was no heartbeat.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I know, it's horrible. But I wouldn't have Shane. So all this stuff happens for a reason.
Yeah.
So then after that, I went through IVF unsuccessfully here in New York, and it was terrible. And they're like, your eggs. So I went through high dose methotrexate, which is normally what they give women.
I've been through like 400 IVFs. Yeah.
Okay. So
I know.
But they're like, maybe this did something to your eggs. We don't know. Or maybe you just can't. I don't know. So maybe you should adopt or get an egg donor. And that's when I got pregnant with Shane.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I said to my oncologist, I'm like, sorry, dude,
we're doing this.
We're doing this. I'm keeping this baby. And so then it was a high risk pregnancy, but it wasn't. It was fine. My tumor actually shrunk. I'm now a case study at Emory University of women of childbearing age that have gone on to have children having these tumors, and my tumor shrunk. Anyways, when Shane was born, this is how this started. When Shane was born, people were giving me gifts to represent him. And I was like, it's really pretty, but it's not anything I would wear. It was like, feminine. I'm like, listen, I'm wearing like black bras under white tank tops, being a stylist on set. Like I need something that's heavy. Yeah. I collected watches my entire life. I never wore a lot of jewelry.
Masculine.
It's got to feel right. But I always collected charms because my parents traveled all the time. My mom would always bring me back a charm.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
And I loved charms, but I wanted it to say his name, and I wanted it on a heavy gold chain, and nothing existed like that. Nothing was out there. So I, being resourceful, being a stylist, I went on 47th Street and knocked on doors until someone finally said yes and made me this dog tag. And I wore it on a heavy long gold chain on set when I was a stylist. And it was literally like, Erika, it was crazy. It was this instant conversation piece. Like all the grips and gaffers and all the guys
want to touch it and look at it.
What does that say? What is that? It was like, and then I would tell my story, and it became this instant, like, everyone wanted this heirloom. Everyone wanted this, but my sister is going to want this. She's having a baby, but she loves hearts and or I like stars. Can you do this? So I started making them for people on set, and I made one for Uma Thurman.
Okay.
Because I was friends with Ryan Trigstad, her hairstylist, and she wanted one. So like I made her one, and she got it on set the day she was shooting Glamour magazine, and wore it on the cover of Glamour. And so that was incredibly helpful.
Obviously, but what serendipity. That's so cool.
That's how it started.
Good for you.
It was just like, and more people started asking for different shapes, colors, sizes. And I was like, I can do it. And then one day Kevin walks into we were living on Green Street in Soho at the time. And Kevin's like, this is a business, Jen. You need to start a website. So I started a website selling direct-to-consumer customizable fine jewelry. And there wasn't a lot of pieces.
Yeah,
of the collection. It was like a few things. And we would like go on Green Street and go shoot the website. And I had this like cool young girl help me build the website. And like,
so cool.
And that's how it started.
That's incredible.
That's how it started. And
what's your lesson to like, what's your message? Like most people who listen to this are in their careers, trying to figure out who they are, how they express themselves, how they make it through like the ups and downs and crazy turns of life. Like you have such great fire. Like what would you say to them?
I would say you never give up and never take no for an answer, because I always say if I had $1 for every time someone told me no and told me like, oh, this will never be on the cover of a magazine. This will never be this. And it's
that won't work.
But you never know what type of day someone's having. You never know what position that person's in. You never know like where it's coming from or where it's directed at.
It has nothing to do with you.
Right. Yeah. It has nothing to do with you. And like go ask another person, they're going to say yes.
Yeah, 100%. So, like, or just do it yourself.
Yeah, or just yourself. But also like it doesn't need to be perfect. Like just get out there and start doing it, and you can change it along the way.
Yeah, 100%.
You just have to get started.
Yeah,
like and just move forward and like and don't be afraid, and don't let your ego get in the way of like failure. Like I have failed so many fucking times. Like I have literally like
failed.
Do you
even care?
Not anymore.
Yeah,
I used to care.
Yeah,
I used to care. But that's another thing. But I think that comes with age. I'm 54, and so it comes with experience.
I think you care less once you get to a certain point. You're like I'm out of fucks.
You have a zero fuck thing. Once like you've been through so much with like family, kids, marriage,
life,
highs, lows, health, all of this stuff. And I think you get to a certain point where like all you want to do is tell people to not be afraid.
Yes.
Like. Because people are also so like people aren't really paying that much attention to you. You know what I mean? Like people are so self-centered. Like people are really not paying that much attention. Like so, and it's also funny. Like maybe one day if something isn't good, the next day it is good. And like, it's like bottom of the bird cage.
No, it's so funny. I taught a class last night we went to a class last night at NYU, and they were like, what's your one piece of advice? And I'm like, stop looking for this perfect job. It doesn't exist. Just take a job. Like, just get out there. Just do something. Just try stuff. Like, you hate it, it'll change. It hates you, it'll change. You know, like, everything will change. You just got to do something.
Right.
And you're such a great message for that. Like, you've created this empire, if you call it, but like, and now you're expanding into new things in the cookbook, and just because you want to. And I think that's what's so great about the world is if you really want it and you're willing to work for it, it will happen.
I truly believe that.
Same.
But I also believe, and I think it's also, this is something new. Like I feel like when I started my jewelry brand 20 years ago, and then when I went through like the Vogue CFDA Fashion Fund in 2012, like I think back then I probably couldn't do what I'm doing now because even now people are like, why are you not making belts, handbags, and shoes? Because you're an accessories designer. I'm like, no, like I want to do what I want to do.
Interesting. They were like, you're supposed to go on that path.
And that was sort of like how it was when fashion was like,
you're like, I'm not interested in belts.
Different.
I can't imagine you making a belt.
Before like influencer culture, this before like all of this stuff started. It was very different back then. And so this is now also like an opportunity now. Like this is my next phase of life. Like my life is just beginning now because I've now closed that chapter on direct parenting on my children. My children are now independent thinkers and independent people.
Almost adults. Yeah.
Right, we're here obviously to support them, but like that phase of my life is over, and you have freedom now and time, which you will see as soon as your kids leave for college, if they choose to go to college. The amount of time you have is so much more. Like
it's so sorry, I'm going to pause you here because we were talking about this before we started, which is it's so funny. So I was texting with my girlfriend the other night, my girlfriend Layla. I'm at like field hockey pickup. It's 9 o'clock at night because people in Connecticut are bananas. And I was like, why is everyone our age so miserable? Everyone's miserable. They're all miserable. Everybody's miserable. And I'm like I was talking to someone the other day who's like, I'm mourning that my child's in high school and they don't need me as much. And I'm like, of course they shouldn't need you as much. They're like figuring out who they are and what they like and what they like. You want that for this person. And I think just the way you think about like your children going off to school, it's not a sad thing. It's not a lost thing. Like I think so many people could be inspired by this.
I hope so. But I also think there's certain people that just think that way. So it's also like you kind of have the way that you and I think is different. And the way that you and I work
I'm like,
and
just make yourself
operate
busy and
is
figure
different.
out, start writing a Substack, do
Right,
something,
right.
go get a job,
Right.
don't get a job, like quit your
I'm
job,
also-
like
it's funny,
whatever.
I have a bunch of girlfriends that are now that are incredibly smart women that were working full time before they had their children in very successful, high powered jobs. And now it's funny. I had a conversation with one of them last weekend. We were out for drinks, and she's sort of like, I want to do something, but then she's like, but then again, I like not doing anything. So I think all of this is a choice.
It's hard. It's all a
a
choice.
personal choice.
Yeah.
And I think it just depends if you really want to do it or not.
I also think what's neat about you is you seem to not need a lot of control. Like maybe you need control in something, but you're like you're generous to let it go. Like, hey, I'm going to start making this jewelry. You want it the way you want it. You want it how you want it. And then you're like, then I'm going to go give it to the world and see what happens.
Control different. I definitely have no fear in putting it out there because I've failed so many times that it doesn't matter. So like, you don't know if it's going to stick or not.
Yeah.
So like,
Might as well go try.
you might as well try.
Yeah.
And if you just, and I mean, listen, it's very different when you're holding fine inventory. And
Yes. Yeah.
inventory
100%.
is
That's a whole different life.
It's a whole thing where it's like, there's a cycle and a product lifestyle and everything that goes into that is a whole, it's expensive and it's hard.
That's a bear. Yeah. That's a bear.
It's more than a bear.
It's the worst.
Fucking beast.
It's the
And
worst.
And it's hard. So, and we have all these categories now. So it's like we've got,
that's stressful.
fine jewelry, fashion jewelry,
Yes.
different cadences of markets. And,
that's
and
a
whole
nightmare. Yeah.
It's really, really hard.
Yeah.
But to your point, I don't care. I don't care because who knows what's going to work, what's not. You're not going to know if you don't try.
Yeah. Just try it. If it doesn't work,
And that was
pivot.
like how I was raised. My dad's like, just go do it. And like, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. My mom was the same way, like very supportive of like, just put yourself out there. And I say that to my kids all the time. Like, don't miss opportunities.
Yeah.
Like something happened the other day. We were out to dinner and we ran into someone. My son had an internship at Fanatics last summer.
Okay.
And we were at a restaurant and he saw one of the guys that had worked at Fanatics.
Okay.
And he was shy and didn't want to go up to him and say hi. I was like, that was a perfect.
Oh my God, you better go say
opportunity.
hi.
You got to go say
in
hi.
front
It's
of
like,
him.
it's like trying to teach your kids those lessons too,
Yeah.
of like, don't miss opportunities. Like if
Yeah.
I run into someone famous or someone that I want to meet because
Whatever.
hi,
Yeah.
hi. That's how you know what I mean? That's how I met Martha Stewart. Like
Yeah.
I went up to her. I was like, hey, Martha, like start talking. Like, don't be afraid.
That's so cool.
Because you know what? People like to cut. It's flattering.
Well,
People
super
like
fun.
it.
It's also like, what's the worst? They're going to be like, no,
Right, or they'll
go
be a dick,
away.
and you're like,
Yeah,
hey,
you're a
noted.
dick. Yeah,
Noted. That wasn't the case. And like, isn't it great? Isn't it great when they're not? And when they are, it sucks.
Yeah.
But like,
Not
that
really.
Case, that
Yeah.
case, it wasn't. And like, that's fantastic. She wrote a blurb for my cookbook.
Yeah,
like,
it's amazing. Okay, so tell me about the cookbook.
So the cookbook. Okay, so the salt started in 2017.
Okay.
And the salt came because I have Hashimoto's.
Okay.
So I've lived with this forever. And my endocrinologist was like, hey, I want you eating more protein in the morning.
Okay. Keep going.
And so I was like, okay. So I was trying to find a cool seasoning salt to put on my eggs in the morning that didn't
Okay.
have garlic or onion and nothing existed. Everything was like a barbecue rub or like French potpourri, like shit that I would never want to eat. And so I was like, there's got to be something.
Like, what am I doing?
And there wasn't anything. So I made a little concoction. So my father used to ship me, and still now my mother does because my father has passed, lemons from California from their trees.
Okay.
And I would always grate the lemon rind, not the pith part, just
the rind.
just
Okay.
the zest. Of the rind, and I would dry it and use it in recipes. And so I was like, that would be like a nice little kick. So I put a few of my favorite things into a bowl, which is universal salt. And that's how universal salt started. I, as one did on Instagram when everyone was posting their egg avocado toast, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And so I put it on my jewelry account. And literally more people commented, because you couldn't DM back then, about like, what, first of all, you can cook. That's so weird. I'm like, why is that weird? Why would people think that I can't cook? I'm a mom. And then I also like love to cook. And also, what is that seasoning that's on top of your egg? And I started, it was a salt concoction. Oh, where can we buy it? And my friends who were editors were like, we want to write about it. And then I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, now I gotta make it.
Now I gotta make this and I gotta package it. So we did this really giant like holiday gifting at the time when like everyone was working at like Condé Nast and there's a million magazines around. And I knew a lot of other designers with some like chocolate bars, their logo. I'm like, that's not healthy or nice. Let's send them something as they're working on gift guides that they can make at their desk. So it was this crazy, my internal PR, it was like this crazy, like feat that we pulled off to make sure that like Anna Wintour didn't get a rotten avocado.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
sure.
mean? Like, 'cause
the logistics on that, the mini logistics, perfect, perfect.
Well, it was an avocado, a lemon, a spicy salt that I had created, which is not the same spicy salt that I have now. I had literally like put sriracha and salt and then had to dry it. It was like this whole thing, which was like a nightmare, but it was delicious. And like a spicy olive oil and some healthy tortilla chips, and how to make like a healthy avocado mash at your desk at holiday times. And like,
so cute,
literally everyone freaked out.
well packaged.
Beautifully packaged, and like made
so
sure.
Smart. You're so smart.
Thank you.
I love this. Okay.
And,
so
and
how many
people
did you
freaked
do?
out. I don't even remember. I have to ask and go back and ask. I mean, we did
Like
probably
100?
100 of them. Yeah,
Okay, it's a lot.
But it was like the avocado. Like you never know at the Coney Nast mailroom how long it's going to sit there.
100%.
Someone's out of town.
100%.
You know what I mean? So we had to make sure they were in town. And
Yeah,
like
it was like all
it was
the
a whole
checking,
thing, like who got
delivery.
rotten avocado,
Yeah.
like the whole thing. So like trying to do it, and then trying to get all the avocados that weren't ripe. So like we knew it would give a couple.
Yeah, you're
of
like kind of
days.
time
Like,
it. You're like,
was
how
really
many
hard
days
to
till it goes
do,
bad?
because
Okay,
you
totally.
get
It's like
the
a
right-
game.
Yeah, but it worked, and I got more thank you notes from like editors and chiefs and people, and so then people wanted to write about it. So we figured out how to package it. And I really wanted it, I have it here, I brought it for you. I really wanted it to be a beautiful designer product. And I wanted it to
I
look,
love this.
I wanted it to look like beauty packaging.
Yeah, it does look like beauty packaging.
And it actually is beauty packaging. So I wanted it to, this is the universal, this is the first one. So this one has no garlic or onion in it.
Oh, I love this.
It's delicious. So universal. So that's how that started. And it literally was like, at first it was like stickers on top of
Oh my gosh.
At first it was stickers on top of the jar. And then now obviously it's screen printed and beautiful. And now we actually have new ones coming that are even like more beautiful than this.
So fun.
Yeah. So if I'm not going to make you try all the salts.
No,
But
you're
this is this is the spice one. This is our most popular one. I sometimes that one because it's dehydrated chili flake.
Okay, I love that.
This is the most popular one. That one has garlic or onion in it. And then this is curry, and this is Japanese curry. But anyways, so it's just the flavors that I loved that I felt weren't around.
so fun.
So fun. Curry is like so underrated and one of
Oh,
my
I
favorite
love curry.
wines.
I live in a big curry house.
This is like amazing. This one.
Do you make a lot with curry?
Smell
we
it.
make curry all the time.
It smells so good.
Mm.
This
I
one
love that.
This one on like
It's like having curry without having curry.
correct. And it's so this one
So you
is
like
on
put that
tomatoes
on
and
your
avocados. Anything. So anyways, this turned into like a whole other thing. It's like
I like how you package it though. I think it's so fun.
Which
so
is the new packaging. The new packaging is so beautiful.
So when does it come out? And where do I find it?
On jenniferfisher.com.
Okay.
And then we have select like high-end wholesalers that we work with. But so like the logo's too big now. But so now we were like
Are
evolving.
you just like picking at it all the time? You're like, I changed
No,
this.
no. I loved it for so long. And now, because now we need different UPCs in order to be in certain stores. We now have a kosher certification that's on the new one.
Okay, this is cool.
So it's more black space and the logo is less screaming in your face and it's more about the flavor of the salt. So, and now we have a fourth one. We have everything spicy. So
Okay.
we have a quad. And so this like box to me, I can't even look at. We have a new one coming that's
Okay,
like
but I like.
full.
I'm still happy with the
Yeah,
box.
it's beautiful. Okay. Anyways.
This is so fun. Okay.
It's really fun. So anyway, so my father, I didn't even tell you this. So my father was a big barbecuer.
Okay.
And so growing up in Santa Barbara, we always ate outside and we always were entertaining, but it was always really casual and it never felt like formal. And that was how I was raised. And I was raised eating a lot of very fresh vegetables because my father always had a garden.
Okay.
And in the morning, my favorite memories as a child are going out to like water the vegetables or the fruit with my dad.
Okay.
Like muddy feet.
Yep.
Like that smell of the hose
It's a
in the
little wet.
morning.
Yep.
Yeah, like
Yep.
that was like my favorite childhood memory of like doing all that stuff. And up until when my father passed, he was still doing it.
Okay.
And so we would always have like peas or there was always
You're like taking a bite of something.
Right.
Yeah.
He was always grilling meats and things, and he was always a funny thing, which is so ironic. He was always over salting all the food. But
was
I
in
didn't
love.
grow up in a clean household.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up. My dad was using Crisco, and I grew up on American cheese, and fruit cocktail, and like Taco Bell. Like,
100%.
Like, which is why I have like a healthy version of like Taco Bell, like all this stuff in the cookbook. So it's all of this came out of. So I started cooking on Instagram during COVID.
Okay.
Because I was stuck at home.
100%.
Well, my CB2 collaboration, let's talk about that quickly though, because that kind of makes sense with all of this. So I was approached by CB2 after all of the salts. And I met with Ryan Turf and we're like total friends immediately and like bonded over basketball and our kids and all that stuff. And we're like, this is going to work. So I designed 108 pieces of furniture and home for CB2.
No way.
Oh yeah. And it was like,
I love the crate people.
They're amazing. And like literally it was the best
fun.
collaboration. It was
That's
so much
cool.
fun. It was so fun to go to Chicago and to work with them.
Yeah,
they
they're
were just
cool.
like, they were just so easy to work with and like amazing. And they let me do all of my stuff. And so it was so fun. And that launched at the worst time, but the best time at the end of February, right before COVID.
Okay, got it.
So we're like, shit, we're on the tour promoting it, and suddenly people aren't shaking hands. and we're in L.
Okay.
So we're in Texas, and then we're in LA, and
You're like,
I
the world
remember
is shutting down.
the world is shutting down. This is not going to be good.
Yeah.
And then we get home, and it was like my son's birthday, March 12th and March 13th. We're at Nobu, and the next day, like everything
Ever
shut
you're
down.
home and never leaving. Yeah.
But so then suddenly it was like very quiet.
Yeah.
And then suddenly Zoom meetings started.
Yeah. Yep.
And suddenly everyone was living in this
Yeah.
box
Yeah.
and at home.
Yeah.
And so suddenly my jewelry brand, because people were not going out.
100%.
People were
100%.
not, and everyone was in this box.
Yeah.
You could wear a charm necklace
Yeah.
and you could wear hoop earrings and you
Absolutely.
could do all of this stuff, but you didn't need shoes or handbags at the time, and you weren't going to
Is
restaurants
this
or
when
on
you became
vacation.
the hoop queen?
That was before.
Okay.
Well, actually, no, that was after. That was when the New York Times named me that when I opened my store in Soho.
It's so funny. I do not think of you that way.
Thank you. Because I really appreciate that, because I love that what we were talking
Yeah.
before, like I originated in fine jewelry, like fine
Yeah.
jewelry, like personalized, like
That's
this is
how
what
I think of you.
and that's what we that's what
Sparkly,
we're
strong, personal
you.
stories
Thank
that you
you.
wear.
Thank
That's
you.
how I think of you.
that's what
queen.
so 2026 is where I'm trying to like
You're bringing it
circle
all
the
back.
wagons, and we're
Yeah.
bringing it back.
Yeah, bring it all back.
We're bringing it all back. So we have so much beautiful fine jewelry that's coming. We're launching 18 karat, which we never really did before. So
Oh,
we're,
so
we're really
fun.
evolving it to like this higher level. We're also launching men's in 2026, which is so exciting. Finally, we're going to do silver
Yeah.
and things like that. What was we just talking about?
Oh, CB2.
Perimenopause is so fun.
I know it's terrible, but you got to get the B12 shot. Are you getting?
I
the
do.
B12
I take
shot?
peptides. We could talk about that too. I'm
What do
really
you
into
mean you're taking
peptides.
peptides?
I take peptides. I inject myself.
Really?
Yeah,
At
it's
home?
amazing. Yeah.
How many?
Glutathione, like in my thigh, if I've had too many cocktails,
Really?
absolutely.
Love that you can give it to yourself. I hate hauling myself to get glutathione.
No, I inject myself with it, and it doesn't hurt.
No, if you've been through IVF, you can inject yourself with legitimately anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm on like a lower regimen right now because I was doing NAD and I was doing all
Yeah,
this other
yeah.
stuff. But we can talk about that later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So sorry. CB2.
Oh, so-
to the cookbook. We want to get to
Oh,
the cookbook.
okay. So CB2, actually, huge success. So like,
Okay.
boom.
Yeah.
Everyone, because it was affordable.
Of course.
And all of my color palette, like I didn't make like a purple couch.
Yeah.
Everything was like black, white, and gray.
Yeah, normal colors.
And the
Yeah.
swirl dish, I don't know if this is still a fact. I love saying this, but I hope it's still a fact. We outsold the white dish company wide. My swirl dish is still on the website.
So
It's
fun.
like 5 years.
Yeah.
So anyways, still amazing. Love them. Hopefully we can do another one day. But that put me into like the kitchen because I did dishes, I did everything. And I did dog doors, I did everything. So I started like randomly cooking on Instagram, and I started like Jennifer Fisher Kitchen because people were like, can we see more of this with the soul? So I started an Instagram. It's now called Maiden, but that's the
Okay,
whole
yeah,
other thing we're
which
going
is
to
a
talk
great
about.
brand.
Yeah,
Yep.
thank you. But I started cooking on, that's literally how it started. And people were like, when are you coming out with a cookbook? I'm like, never.
Yeah.
And then finally, like, do you have the recipe for this? Do you have the recipe for this? And we put them on the website, and they were printable, but no one printed them.
Yep.
Of course. So like it was constant
100%. They
DMs of
come
like,
back. Yeah, send it to
can
me
I?
again.
Can you?
send it
And I'm
to
like,
me
I
again.
can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
I do all the
Yeah,
social
it's
for all of
silly.
that. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't.
100%.
And I'd have like this like collect board of like,
Yeah.
here's this recipe,
Yeah.
and like this is too time consuming. So finally, I ended up getting an agent at Eve Aderman, who I love, at WME, and she's like, we can do this.
Yeah, you
And
could make a book.
she believed in me.
Yeah.
And the first person I spoke to, who's Holly at Abrams, was like, I know how to make this cookbook, Jen. That was the first thing out of her mouth. Like
That's
wearing my
so
hoops.
great.
And like they let me be free. And funny story. So I hired Quentin Bacon to shoot it, who's Ina Garten's photographer, because the first cookbook I ever
Yeah, her
received
cookbook is
was
amazing.
Ina
Yeah,
Garten. So,
totally.
like to me, like that was like a
That was,
really
like,
big, meaningful. So Quentin shot it all. It was the best 7 days of my life.
That's so cool.
So fun. But this is only 100 recipes. There's 300 and something.
Okay, so like this is just the beginning.
I wanted to call this one Salty Bitch, but the next one I want to call Salty Bitch.
Salty Bitch is a great brand. You should trademark that.
Yeah, I know. Don't take it.
Salty Bitch is a great brand.
It's a good one, right?
It's so good.
I think it's such a good name, but like I think everyone was nervous to name the first cookbook something like
No,
that.
that's okay. You can do the second
Yeah,
one. That
yeah.
And then talk about the toothpick.
Okay, so the toothpick came from it was like one of the few dinner parties I met Amanda Hesser, and we met at her book launch for her New York Times for her cookbook, and I was a fan of hers on COVID. I would watch
You're reading her. Yeah.
and
absolutely.
I was like Food 52. I love Food 52. Like you guys had like amazing things, and she was amazing, and I would watch her cook. And like when I met her, I was kind of like starstruck. And I was like, I've watched you through COVID, and we just started chatting, and we became like friends, and we started
So great.
texting. And she's like, I have an idea. And she's like, I want to take something that's like this very simple, historical, like utilitarian like thing that like, let's make it like luxury.
Spectacular.
And that's how it started.
So fun.
That's how it started.
And here it is.
And here it is.
Now you can get it.
And now you can get it. And we just posted Martha today, who was using it for olives, which is so fun. And now you can get it.
I was so sad. So my story that I was going to share with you earlier. So yesterday I had to meet with all these bankers and like blah, blah, blah. It's like men day. And I had to have lunch with one of them. And so we go have lunch and I'm like, shit, what do I order for lunch? Like, do I order I want a salad? Do I order a salad? Because you know when you're like talking to someone at a business lunch, it's like a lot of pieces and parts to keep a hold of. So long story short, I was like, fuck it, I ordered the salad. And then I had another meeting with the CEO and media and another meeting after that. And I had a little piece of lettuce in my teeth. All day until I see Sarthik last night at NYU, and Sarthik's like, "You have food in your teeth," and I was like,
"You're saying something." I'm always like bat in the cave or like food like your teeth. I was like, flies down, like come on,
just say something. And
so fucked up.
Being with women will say something. So I appreciated that you said something, but I was really like, I could have used a toothpick.
You could have used the toothpick,
and I would have had it in the little like velvet thing, and I would have been like, boop.
Well, the whole case it comes
so
beautiful.
Pretty.
There's a mirror inside.
It's so great.
It's amazing.
It's exactly
that packaging
what you need.
Worked on very hard. Like the packaging was like harder
half
than
of the thing. Totally.
It was hard. So it's beautiful, and it's just like a fun, great gift for some. It's perfect for someone who has everything. And it's
100%.
It's also like an amazing conversation.
And it's limited
piece.
edition. It's incredible.
It is. There's not many, and they're going to be gone. And it's funny. Like the more people are like, oh my god, that is so useful.
Yes.
And the case you can keep in your purse, and it's metal, and it's like
you.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's amazing.
So
you can take it with you.
I love that.
It was really fun. The whole process was really fun.
Okay, and then talk about Maiden for a second.
Okay, so trust your gut came from so after COVID, because I wasn't eating completely anti-inflammatory. So until I read Will Cole's book Ketotarian.
Yep.
Have you heard about Will?
I have heard of it. I don't know him, but I've heard of this book.
And he wrote the introduction to the book. And we became so anyways, I was opening my store in Beverly Hills, and you had to quarantine for 10 days. Remember that?
Okay, yes.
So I bought a bunch of books, and I read Will Cole Ketotarian.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, shit, paying light bulb I'm turning 50. I should try this. I'm going to give myself 3 days to eat this way.
Okay.
Cut out dairy, cut out grains, because I was eating gluten-free.
Yeah.
But I was eating all this processed garbage, and I felt like shit. And I was like, why do I feel so bad all the time? Because I was consuming gums, seed oils, cane sugar, all of these things. You know, if like you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. But I was eating it all.
100%.
And so I cut it all out, and like
even thinking you're eating healthy, you're still eating all of it.
You have to read everything.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But also, there are so many, like, you can do it easily. You just have to read what's on, like, just watch for all the hidden things. And if one has it, the one next to it probably doesn't. So just take your time in the grocery store, pick the right condiments, pick the right pickles, pick the right stuff, and you're good.
Yep.
Like, it's not hard. So I started eating this way. Gave myself 3 days, and it was like, boom, like my mental clarity.
You felt so much better.
I felt like a completely different person. My energy was through the roof. My brain fog was gone. I was like, I don't feel hungover all the time.
Yeah.
Like it was like, it was suddenly like this, like that sloggy feeling.
100%.
You know what I'm
where you
saying?
have like a slight head.
It was gone.
Yep.
I was like, oh, this is kind of addictive.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me continue this. So I did it for like a week, and I was like, okay, this is really good. And I at that point, I went to dinner with a bunch of my girlfriends, and it was like first time everyone was kind of seeing each other post COVID, and everyone was giving me shit for how I was eating. And what's so funny, because they're like, oh, you know, because I was like, I make sure that my, you know, could you please make sure that my fish is cooked in pure olive oil? Yeah. Because, you know, a lot of the times the restaurants are blended. Yeah. And like, I was like, can you please make sure, you know, da, da, da. And they're like, Jen, you're such a pain in the ass. And I was like, guys, I feel so much better.
That's worth it.
It's worth it.
Being a pain in the ass.
And what's funny is all those people have kind of like come around. It's so funny. It's sort of like, I always say it's sort of like plastic surgery. Like I got the boob job first, and then like everyone gave me shit, and then everyone got it after. Like it's sort of one of those things. Like when you're like the first,
you're just early.
Like, everyone gives you a hard time, and then like, you know, people
you're like, you'll come around.
Whatever it is. It's kind of funny when you kind of buck the system or do something different, and people like to give you a lot of shit for it.
Exactly.
But,
They're afraid.
And then it sort of became this thing where I started cooking anti-inflammatory on my Instagram, and a lot of people
were picking up on that.
People were picking up on it, and people were like, I feel so much better. People messaging me, I lost 60 pounds just by cleaning out my refrigerator in my house, and you teaching me. So I teach everyone all of that in the book. Like, use your freezer for protein. Like, don't over grocery shop. Like, don't, because I don't like food waste. And like, but also like make sure your pantries are stocked for success. But also like your freezer's your friend. Like, if you get home and you want to make, you know, drunk nachos or like a grain, like I have like things to make a grain-free
you can do it
pizza
fast.
if I need to, and it doesn't have all the garbage in it. Like, I drink alcohol. That's another thing. Like, my thing is this 80-20 thing. It's not about, I'm not trying to be some health nutrition guru. I don't know enough about it.
Don't die guy. You're not like, I'm going to measure everything. You're like, but 80% of this, I'm going to do better. And 20% you're going to live and enjoy.
Like if my kids are coming back into town, and my daughter loves food. She started her own food Instagram. And she likes to go to like new cool food places. And like, I'm going to go do all that with her and I'm going to eat all that food.
100%. You're not going to feel good, but it's fine.
It's fine. But like, you have to enjoy your life and live life. And like, go out with your girlfriends and have your drinks and have your charcuterie platter or whatever it is. But, you know, on the nights I drink my clean tequila. And I have my shrimp cocktail and my oysters. And I feel better that day than the days that I go out and I have like the shitty appetizers and like, you know. It's just balance. You have to balance. It's all about
fun.
Oh, thanks.
It's so cool.
Yeah, we should hang out.
Well, I'd love to hang out. I have like 1,000. I'm going to shut the mic off because I have 1,000 things to talk to you about. I think you're so fabulous.
Thank you.
I think you have such great energy. Like people can just experience. You are just like a force, and it's so great. I think I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
And it's so cool what you are doing.
Thank you. It's
Giving
really fucking
the
hard.
gift of yourself. Totally, it's a lot of fucking
work.
work.
It's really fucking hard. People have to understand that it sucks. 90% of the time. It's hard. Like it's like,
but you're still having fun, even in the moments you hate it. I'm sure, like that's how I feel, which is like I'm like, oh my god, this sucks half the time, or most of the time. But you're like, there's something in you that's just going, and I think that
I see it.
I wish more people had the like thing that keeps you going.
I think people need to take the chance and the risk to get the feeling.
Yes.
And then once you have the feeling, it's addictive.
Yeah. Then you want to keep the feeling.
You want to keep the feeling. I mean, sometimes you don't. I mean, you don't, and that's okay too.
And it can change.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But I wish people had less fear of ego, of being seen as like, I have failed so many times. I have lost so many times. I've lost so much. But like, I'm still here.
Yeah.
And I have a huge opportunity ahead of me with all of these other things. Like something good always comes of it.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
I agree with that.
I always like to use that thing like on Instagram, there's the big circle and like, this is what it feels like right now. Like, and then in a year it's this.
Yes, exactly.
And more people need to realize that. And I try to say that like I'm at the office with my girls all the time too. And I say this to them all the time. Madeline's right there. I say like, you know, this
seems like a huge
look
deal.
How far we've come.
Yeah.
But look at what's coming and look what's going to be
and
good.
look at how much progress we've made and look at everything we learned and did. Like it's awesome.
Yeah, mistakes are
they're part of the process.
Part of the process. More people need to understand that.
Great. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks for having me.
Grateful. I cannot wait to hang out with you.
I know. I'm so glad we met.
Fun. I am too. I'm so excited.
Much fun.